All right, guys. Welcome to the
Hey,
podcast lab.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really excited to have you here. Actually,
Yes, thanks for having us.
Yeah, epic, epic. Like sometimes you just have a click. I saw you at that workshop, and I was like, they look like such a cool couple. I have to,
Thanks.
I have to chat with them, and like see what's going on, and just to get to know them better. Melissa and Daniel. Perfect. Right. No, I remember. So I'm actually interested because I did a little, little research, and I see, you have some following on Instagram, and it kind of like something going on.
Intrigued,
yeah. And I was like, I want to know, your story, what's it about, and how did you end up here in sunny, rainy Portugal?
Yeah.
Ericeira.
So it's a very long story, but I'll try and keep it quite short.
You can.
I can elaborate. So basically, the two of us met back in 2012. We were working on the super yachts together. So he is a captain, and I used to be a stewardess, or I was trying to be a stewardess. That was my first year in the yachting industry. And we ended up working together on a boat, just the two of us.
Okay.
So we worked in Spain, on the south coast of Spain. We got tired of it after 2 seasons. He worked in the industry for probably 10 years.
13 years.
13 years.
Okay.
And we decided to then cast our roots in Malta, which is where Daniel is from.
Okay.
I'm South African. So for the South African people, your ticket to get out of South Africa is to go on the yachts. So that's how I ended up in Europe. So we moved to Malta, and then shortly after that we got engaged, we got married, and then a few years later we had our first child. She is now 6.5, and she will be 7 in May. And then during the pandemic we had our twins.
Oh wow!
Boy and a girl. So
crazy.
That's how we ended up. Well, that's how.
It's our family
This is
story.
how you ended up having a family.
Exactly.
How we had a family.
Exactly.
How we ended up in Ericeira was the life in Malta wasn't for us. It's very busy.
Really?
Yes.
I have no idea. Sorry for interrupting. It's
No,
my
no.
Middle Eastern behavior, manners. But first, I know that Malta has some serious yachting industry as well, right?
It's growing, it's booming.
Because it's on the Adriatic.
It's right in the middle of the Med, so anywhere that you want to go, so you can either go north, east, or west. It's a central hub, so depending on the season, they have either planned for charters or whatnot. It's a great departure point.
Okay.
But it's also
Easy seas as well.
Easy seas, yeah, so on the Calmus and the Med. But we've also got a lot of people coming to register the boats in Malta under Malta flag for tax reasons. So
Okay.
they bring them over, they flag them, they maintain there, and then they depart. So.
Okay, so you worked on a super yacht. What's a super yacht?
Well,
that sounds like super exciting. Just before you explain me, I've seen something incredible. I actually really love sailing myself, and I've seen. I think it's I'm not sure if it's the biggest, but it's the design-wise, it looks like it's all white, and the sail looks like it's. Looks like the sail doesn't look like they are from fabric.
Okay.
It looks like they are from metal, white metal, and it's like was designed by super famous.
There's 2 yachts like that. There's one called Sailing Yacht A, which is not really a sailing yacht. It's by Russian oligarch, I believe.
We sailed past that one quite a
Yeah.
few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very modern design. Or there's Maltese Falcon. And basically,
And that one as well.
the masts actually turn with the computer to get the right point of sail.
Okay.
So the mast has no rigging. It's a solid mast that turns when the sails are dropped down.
It's not real sailing.
It is sailing. I mean, it's a beautiful
but-
yacht, Maltese Falcon.
So they use what kind of energy?
Hydraulic, then it will be. No, the mast will turn hydraulically to capture the right point of sail. So the sails are within the mast themselves, they drop down. So there's no rigging lines, there's no tacking lines. It's basically you press a button, the sail finds the best position into the wind, and it holds that position.
And it holds wind in
holds
that, but
wind,
but
yeah.
it's a strong. It's not like a fabric.
They will be fabric. They're just smaller sections of fabric.
Okay, got
within in between the mast sections.
Okay, yeah, wow, that's amazing. So something like that you were working on?
We were on a smaller yachts. I mean, there's super yachts and there's mega yachts. I mean, some of these they fall into the mega yacht category.
Yeah.
What line that is, you don't really know, but it's typically over 100 meters, a mega yacht. Under, but like 25 to 100 meters is super yacht. So we're on the smaller section. I mean,
it's like a luxury yacht. That's why it's probably called a super yacht. Yeah. It's luxury.
How big is it? Feet, meters?
We did 28 meters. That was the smallest one that I did. Was coming to the end of my career, if you want to put it that way. The more stuff you have on board, the more headaches you have, the more pressure. So I wanted to go a bit smaller. And that's when I met her in south of France, and I gave her a job. And the rest is history, really.
The biggest one you worked on was
38 meter.
38, yeah.
Wow, that's exciting. I was sailing in Seychelles.
Oh, nice.
I did island hopping with it's two hulls. They call it catamaran because a single hull and two hulls catamaran. Yeah,
catamaran and monohull.
Yeah, catamaran. I'm not sure it was in feet, so it was like 40 feet or something. Yeah. So it's probably like what, 15 meters?
14, 15 meters.
Yeah, so that was like probably like 2 or 3 times the size.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, those are amazing. Was it a single hull or?
It's a motorboat actually.
Motorboat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've done both, but work-wise, it's easier to work on a motorboat.
Okay.
Especially when you're a smaller crew. It's less lines.
Yeah, because it was just the two of us. So I was a cook, a cleaner, a deckhand.
Really?
Yes.
And this was your job, and you basically work together, running a boat, getting those, I guess, crazy rich people hanging around from spot to spot around the Mediterranean or whatever.
Yes.
We basically work for a guy who has an office in Puerto Banús. The boat was based in Puerto Banús in winter. And then summer would move over to Ibiza and spend the whole summer in Ibiza. And he would...
Cool, in Ibiza.
Yeah, and that was in our early 20s as well, so...
Great times.
It's really a nice spot over there. I haven't been, but I heard there is... go ahead, sorry.
The island is beautiful.
Yes.
You take away the party scene, the island is beautiful. So many nice chiringuitos up north.
Sorry.
There's so many nice places to drop anchor and go with a small little rib and have breakfast, lunch, dinner right on the seaside, you know. So it's really small little places, maybe like 6 or 7 tables. And the nature around there is amazing as well. So
really,
when you come down south, then you get to the money side, the story that everybody knows about Ibiza. There's all the clubs. It's 2 different worlds. But up north is just amazing.
I've seen that there is almost like a hippie community
up north.
Up north, and they are like looks really chilled and completely other side. They look like they like partying, but different kind of
partying. Different kind,
That's
than the clubbing down south. The EDM kind of like crazy clubbing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wow, cool. That's so amazing. I'm really I didn't know that at all. You know, like that's so cool. This is the whole point, you know, like that's why I open this space, you know, so I like get to meet new people, hear new stories, sort of like like give a push on the back for each other on our journey on creating content, and you know, so this is like just like that, you know, like crazy story, because I have so many questions about sailing. I was thinking about doing like I'm not sure the name, like a course on how to sail, or like a skipper. It's called a skipper.
There's a day skipper. There's different
skipper,
levels.
So like the first, like if I want to get like a little, like my first jump, my first dip in the fire or whatever it's called. What should I do?
I mean, you get private licenses, you get commercial ones, but I went to UK, I studied in the UK, so I did all my courses are the Royal Yachting Association, RYA. Yeah. I felt like at that time it was so much more advanced than we had in Malta, but Malta's caught up now. So it was quite a journey, because we were sailing in February. basically break the ice of the boat and then go out into 4, 6, 7 gale. And you're so cold, like it doesn't matter how much you wear, your fingers are going to fall off. And that was the training I did. But I wanted to get like quite advanced.
Yeah.
So I did 9 months of that, and then I went out and did 3 years of work, and then came back again, did more. So that's quite intense. But if you want to get into your basic day skipper courses, I'm sure you'll find some around here. I haven't checked the local industry and what licenses you need for a Portuguese flag boat. But you can do 3-day courses, you can do 7-day courses, you can do 3-month course.
Okay.
I would recommend you do a 3-month course, get to know.
Of course. That you won't get lost at sea.
It's when you're out there, you're by yourself.
You're actually not allowed even if you need to have certain certificates to cross an ocean, right?
Yeah, you're basically like 60 miles from shore. You get then unlimited. There's ocean. There's different types of licenses.
So I'm just having this speculation here. Like, if a guy doesn't have the license to cross an ocean, and he decides to cross an ocean, and he's in the middle of an ocean, would there be like sailing police capturing him, or would he be like saying before crossing, he would be like, "Hey, that's really dumb. I shouldn't do that." What would stop him? This is the question.
Well, you're gonna laugh because the 2 of the main countries in the world, you don't even need a license to have a private boat.
Really?
In the UK, you don't need to have a license. In America, you don't need to have a license. I know things are changing, so you can buy a boat as long as under 24 meters. Not have a clue how to drive it, and head out on your luxurious little cruise and maybe stick it into a reef or something. But there's border patrol, but typically it all comes down to what flag you have. So if I have a Maltese flag, then the rules are what circulate around the Maltese flag regulations.
Okay.
So if I have a Maltese flag boat, I need to have basically a very short course. I think it's 7 days is the minimum for a small size, and a 3-month course for that license. But if you have another country, a British flag, you can buy a boat and just head out, and that's it.
And when you say a British flag, you mean just hanging the flag there, or what the boat registered
It's
on?
registered under.
So
that
it doesn't
country.
matter what kind. I mean, I can have a British flag, but actually it's registered in Malta, so it's a Maltese flag.
If you're
doesn't matter
English-
what flag I put there.
You have a flag, basically, which is called the ensign, which is where the boat is registered. So at the back of the boat, you have the name, typically, and then Valletta, let's say it's a Maltese flag boat, and you fly a Maltese flag at the back of the boat.
Okay.
But if you're going to a different country, then you fly a courtesy flag. So if I'm coming to Portugal, then I'll fly the Portuguese flag.
Okay.
If I go outside of, let's say, the Eurozone, you have to fly a yellow flag, which is basically...
a smaller flag at the
There are
top.
small flags up at the
Yeah.
mast. So a yellow flag is basically saying I need to declare customs. So there's so many different flags that you need to play with, but you can be any national and you can have your boat registered in any country as long as it's done the proper way through agencies. But the flag at the back will be where the boat is registered. So
Okay.
doesn't matter where you're from.
Okay, super cool. I understand. And if you are sailing the Red Sea, you need to have an anti-missile.
Well,
equipment
I would
on your-
recommend it.
Nobody's sailing there at the moment.
At the moment, not really. No, I
Not
don't
really.
think so.
Everyone, it's the sea's closed. Just a question: why did you said? I'm going a little bit back. Why did you said that leaving South Africa is through the sailing business, the yachting business?
It doesn't have to be, but that is a common thing that the younger people do. Because,
Really?
Yes, because our passport doesn't allow us to go to most places. We call it-
Seriously?
Yes, we call it the green mamba, which means that it's basically useless. So places that you can usually go to would be, countries in Asia. So when I was younger, I lived in Thailand for a year as well, because I could actually go to Thailand. And then you just get out of the country every 3 months, stamp your passport, and then you go back.
Okay.
So the South African people obviously want to travel as well, but our passports don't allow it. So when you go on the boats, you get a seaman's visa. Which, Yes. So which means that you can basically, travel the world, and that would be your ticket to do so.
I get it. So basically, being like, if you traveling with a South African passport is no. You don't get to.
I mean, you
enter.
can, but you.
And why is that?
Because a lot of people are trying to leave South Africa
Okay.
because of what the political situation is
Okay,
like,
okay.
and Yeah, so that's why.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. Because I actually visit South Africa. I
Yes,
loved
yes,
it.
I remember you told me. Durban, right?
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Durban. Yeah, I loved it. And it seems like the area where I was, everyone were like, it seems pretty wealthy. And actually, I was hanging around in the night, like doing walks, listening to music, surfing. Like, it was super cool area. But suddenly you cross a street, or
Yeah.
it's like completely different, completely different place.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
that's how it is in Cape Town as well, which is where I'm from. Johannesburg is more dangerous.
Is the most dangerous one?
Yes, if you want to say that, yeah. But I mean, everywhere is becoming quite dangerous. But a lot of people are now moving from Johannesburg down south to Cape Town. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen, because me and my wife were looking for like maybe doing a holiday destination during the winter months here, because the winter for us, the winter here is so
Oh, I
bad,
can imagine. Yeah.
because it's like we never experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We have like maybe a week like that, like
Yeah.
2 days, like like
Yeah.
rainy and miserable. So we really feel like trapped. And we thought about actually doing another holiday in South Africa, but some friends told that some South African friends told that maybe it's not that recommended to visit. And although I heard like it's super nice in Cape Town.
Can I give you my opinion on that?
Yeah,
If people,
of course, this is why you're here.
if people tell me they want to visit South Africa, I would be like, just go.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I will never badmouth my country because I love it. As a tourist, it's amazing. You go to the nice places, you kind of stay in your bubble. The reason why we don't want to live there as a family is because obviously the crime, but also there's no opportunities for our kids there.
Yeah.
And they struggle with a lot of stuff now, like it's called load shedding. So there's no power for almost half of the day at certain points.
You mean no electricity?
No electricity.
Really?
Yes.
Even at the wealthy neighborhoods?
Everyone gets affected by this, but now the wealthy people are getting stuff like
Solar panels and
solar panels,
batteries.
inverters, yes.
Tesla house battery.
They tax you if you have solar panels, though.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Really?
So even though you can't supply
they
any
actually
power.
do it the other way around.
Yeah.
Instead of incentivize
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I've heard the countries. It's
A lot has changed. I mean, I left South Africa in 2010. So, I mean, it's been almost 14 years now. So when I left, it wasn't like this at all, but a lot has happened in 14 years' time. So there was a point where we really wanted to actually move to South Africa after having our first child. But then COVID happened. And then obviously when COVID happened, things became even worse in South Africa, poverty-wise. And then obviously that crime happens and stuff. So we just decided, you know what, that's not where we want to be. And we really wanted to leave Malta, but we didn't know where we wanted to go. We really tried to find one place that was for us. We lived in Spain before, so we loved Spain, but there was something missing.
Yeah.
I can't explain what it was because I really loved the coast of Spain. It was nice, but something was missing. And then last year, my parents moved to Portugal.
Oh.
And they moved to Peniche. We visited Peniche in December 2022. And then we asked my parents if they can look after the kids for one night, all three of them. We wanted to come to Ericeira because since I was a child, I always heard these stories of Ericeira because obviously the surfing community in Cape Town is also huge, or in South Africa is huge.
Yeah.
And I always heard these stories about Ericeira. So I said to Daniel, why don't we just, book one night, come to Ericeira? And I mean, that was in December.
Yeah.
So it was raining. It was really not very nice weather. And I think it was like after a few hours, we were like, okay, we're moving here.
Yeah.
So
That quick.
yeah, it was really quick because that thing that was missing in Spain, immediately I just felt like it's here.
Yeah. I think you can't. I think the Portuguese. I have Spanish friends, but the Portuguese are. It seems like they're very welcoming.
Yes, exactly.
And
So-
they're really like down to earth
Yes,
and kind of
laid
like
back.
in laid back, and the Spain is bigger.
Yes.
And it's a bit like it's a bit divided, and they have their own sectors, and each section is a bit different than the other. But the Portuguese are super accepting, and you feel like home immediately.
And they most of the people that we have come in contact with can get by with a bit of English, and they are excited to practice their English.
Yeah, and also they're happy to teach you Portuguese.
Yes.
They're like, you should say like bon dia like this, and or tu to like really, and they're trying, and so it's really cool. It feels like it's completely true. So you came here 2022?
Yes, we were here for literally one night. Not even, it was 12 hours. And we were like, okay, we're going to move here.
2022. And
Yes.
so you've been here 2 years almost.
No,
we
we've
came
been
on
here.
holiday on that.
No, yeah, I understand. You've been in a holiday in Peniche, visited the parents,
Went back to Malta.
and then went.
Came
So
back here in October.
this October.
This October that just passed,
Yeah.
23.
Oh, so like what? Like 3
We
months?
are brand new.
Yeah.
Oh wow, like fresh,
Ericeira
green, really
virgins.
green. Oh,
We are.
oh, cool. Okay, I
Yeah.
got it.
We haven't even been here in summer yet, so we don't know. We've only seen Ericeira in winter, and we love it. So I heard it can get quite busy in summer, but
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's get packed, but it's still breathable. You
exactly.
know?
And we come from Malta, so
I have no clue what.
Malta is so densely populated
Yeah.
that you can't move. So for us, it will probably be a breeze.
Probably, yeah, probably. So again, it's a little bit outside, so
Yes,
you don't really
exactly.
feel
We've
that
got
during.
sheep in front of our place. So
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. So I think when I see sheep around, I'm like, hey, Portugal is almost like the New Zealand of Europe in a way.
It
you know?
kind
It's
of feels like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a lot of greenery here. It's just,
I didn't expect it to be as green before we came to Portugal. I thought it was quite barren. I think because you see a lot of photos of the Algarve and you know.
Yeah.
But I'm very surprised and I love it because that's another thing in Malta. It's incredibly dry.
Really?
Very.
I'm sorry I have zero knowledge about Malta.
no,
I know
don't
there
worry.
is some tax benefits about
Yes.
This is
That's
what I
maybe
heard.
why it's so densely populated.
the country, I grew up there. It was an amazing place to grow up. I mean, it was I love the sea. There's like beaches that were open and clean blue waters, like tranquil blue waters. And slowly the population started to grow, and there was a lot of tax incentives, they're saying, so foreigners were coming in. But the last 10 years, it's just been an explosion of overdevelopment. And this came about by changing government, and all of a sudden, all the green areas are being taken away.
Yeah.
Like they have something against trees. They see a tree, they want to cut it down. It's really
Literally
sad,
hate
you know.
trees.
Really?
And it's just become a concrete jungle.
Oh.
And it's a shame because I love the country, but now
Of
it's
course.
almost become a place where it's uncomfortable to live. The traffic is just insane. The kids can't go out to play anywhere. And it's like, I can't see my kids sat at home inside all the time,
Yeah.
watching TV. They should be outside and playing, And I grew up like that, but it's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
So that was our aim. It's mostly, we wanted to get out, but the kids is the most important, They
Yeah.
need to be on the water here, need to be out playing in the parks and under trees. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. It's a great place to go holiday, but living there became a bit too. You can feel the tension within the locals.
Yeah.
And
The locals?
The locals.
Yeah, you don't blame them.
This is a country they loved, and all of a sudden, all these people have come in, and now you can't even walk down the street. There's people everywhere. You can't
Yeah,
park your
yeah.
car. It's becoming expensive as well. And it's just the locals are feeling frustrated that,
Yeah.
hey, all these people have come in here, they've ruined the country I loved, the overpopulation, and they've become a little bit, what's the word to say, not really welcoming to
Yeah,
the foreigners.
yeah.
My mother is Scottish. I don't look Maltese. So I speak Maltese, but they don't think I'm Maltese. So they
Okay.
treat me like a foreigner.
Mm.
And then I start speaking their Maltese, like, oh, you're Maltese. And the level of welcoming changes. It
Yeah.
skyrockets all of a sudden. They're like, oh, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate, like she's foreigner, and the vibe around it has become a little bit.
I have a question for you. Can you explain, if you know, in a few sentences, what's the tax benefits Malta is giving? So like this, it's really interesting, and you don't have to dive really deep. Just like really briefly.
Okay, I mean, it depends on what. I'm not a specialist in tax.
Of course.
So, I would recommend that you speak to someone who is. But I know there are a lot of benefits to foreign people investing into Malta. For the locals, the benefits are not really high.
Okay.
If you're coming as a foreign investor and you invested within the country, there are certain ways and means around that you pay a very low tax. I believe it's between 5 to 10% on the income. I think there's even a way that you can even bring it down to 0. But these are all things you need to speak to someone who knows about.
Of course. Yeah, it's like if you open, what I've heard, you open a Maltese company,
Yeah.
and then you get like all the benefits,
They've got
all the
golden
perks.
visa as well.
I mean, that's a separate thing of the visa having a passport, but what they want to do is try and bring in wealthy investors from overseas. So sort of iGaming opened up there quite a few years ago now. That's a big economy boost.
Okay.
And so they obviously get tax benefits, they get licensing through the government. So what they're wanting to do is bring in a source of income stream, because the country has nothing apart from being a rock in the middle of the Med with a beautiful sea. There's not much export, so it's all self-developed businesses. The economy is amazing. I mean, it's booming. But they do that through other sources than other countries might have access to.
I understand. So they bring the entrepreneurship through the tax incentives.
Exactly.
Super cool.
I mean,
It's smart. It's smart. You can't blame them.
That's it.
It is smart, but it is obviously affecting the quality of
course,
life for
of
the
course.
majority of the people.
Ups and downs.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Portugal is changing, by the way.
Yeah.
You were saying you left South Africa 2010. I'm just telling you, I was there in 2006.
Oh,
So that was
yeah.
completely long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, but I can tell you my story, how we made it to Portugal, actually.
Yes.
We in the end of 2017, my oldest girl was born, and just after she was born, my mother-in-law got diagnosed with a cancer, really pancreatic, and she passed away after 40 or 50 days. It was really quick.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and just as my child was born, and my wife was devastated,
Yes.
and we decided to do a bit of mixed, blend everything together and kind of have an open page and put different things on our list to be like more important, like change that, like put the career aside and kind of like think for a year. So we traveled to Australia. We did like a road trip with the baby, and it was amazing. And I was actually living in Australia for 3 years. And I did my uni in Australia.
Okay.
And so I showed my wife where I studied,
yes.
and some friends, and it was really nice. And since we came back to Tel Aviv, and we felt like we didn't really feel belong. We felt like and while I was there, I started to take some projects. It wasn't that popular to do stuff online back in 2018, 2017. But I started to take some projects, and we saw it's kind of working. We can manage something.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, we want to try again. So we thought about going back to Australia, but then when we figure out they actually don't want you to go there, they don't really give visas, or they give you a visa as a tourist, no problem.
Yes.
And I am from a German heritage.
Oh.
I'm because we're Jewish, so my grandmother is German, and my wife, she's Portuguese, actually.
Yes, I remember.
Because because she's a descendant from Portuguese family. So we all in Israel. It's very common that you have like a lineage from somewhere in
Other
Europe.
countries,
Yeah. So we decided we should check Europe, but everything seemed like miserable, rainy. Well, we go London. Back then, it was still before the Brexit, or Berlin, or so we said, we actually what made us to do the decision. There was an article, and they love to do that in Israel. There was like like in a finance section of
Yeah.
the news, and it was the title was buying a flat, buying a building in Lisboa for the price of a flat in Tel Aviv. So this was like how they titled it. And we're like, interesting. We should look. And we were like, look, and they showed like a young couple, like doing this real estate entrepreneurship, buying things, renovating, and like, this looks really cool. Portugal, how come we never thought about it? We never heard about it, actually. And we were like, okay, like after a month, we basically sold everything, and we never been here before. And we sold everything we have, and we jumped on a plane. We only had one child back then, and we came to Ericeira by a recommendation from a friend, which visited here.
Okay.
And actually, we didn't like it in the beginning.
Ericeira.
No, we
Really?
didn't. No, because we find it super cold. The ocean was
true.
freezing, but we kinda gave it a chance. And after a few months, after things started to settle down, and we found a school for the girl, and we find a really nice flat we can rent for long term. COVID hit, and we were here and like, what's going on, you know? And then, you know, we just by luck find, like, just after the first, how do they call it? The first lockdown.
Yeah.
By luck, we found like this really cute old couple that wanted to sell their house. So we bought the house from them, and it's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was really good timing, and
Yes.
yeah, and super happy, you know. And after that, you know, we got, you know, we started renovating, and we started, you know, and my wife started a Pilates studio, and before I opened this business, I used to work in a crypto company.
Oh.
So yeah, this is how we made it here. But we, after a while, for us, we kinda, as you said, the weather wasn't good, but it kind of like ticked all the right boxes.
Yeah.
You know, like the proximity to a big city.
Exactly.
So it's just over here around the corner, basically, Lisbon. It's quite a cool. I mean,
It's a really cool city.
it's a really cool city.
We don't like cities, and I even said to him, I feel like Lisbon is the gift that keeps on giving. Everywhere you go, there's just nice little, you know, nooks, and it's really nice, and it seems very artsy as well.
Yeah,
So,
hipstery.
Yes, yeah, I like it.
There is some scene going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's just around the corner. Ericeira itself is like a bubble.
Yeah.
So you feel completely like isolated in like this nice surfy vibe.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing, and it's just exactly ticks all the right, and it's a perfect place to raise kids. It's amazing. But like, do you think sometimes, because me and my wife sometimes have this conversation, that we want to give our girls sort of this something similar to what we had in our education? So like, in a way, are you afraid that like, would you be concerned if your girls wouldn't speak in a South African accent, for example, their English?
The accent I'm not worried about. It's about not speaking my language, because I'm not English speaking. So
What do you mean?
I'm Afrikaans.
Oh,
So
okay.
Afrikaans is almost the closest language to it is Dutch.
I know what
Yeah.
Afrikaans. Lekker, bro.
Yes, exactly. So that bothered me for quite some time, but I just realized that it was so hard for me to try and teach them Afrikaans, because no one else in the house speaks it.
No one else
And-
in the world speaks it. anyway.
Exactly. Well, no one else in the world speaks Maltese either. So
Yeah.
our languages won't really get them very far
Yeah.
unless we really want to converse with them in our
Yeah.
mother language, you know? That doesn't bother me. I would say education as a whole doesn't bother me
Okay.
as much. What bothers me is that I can't raise the kids the way that we were raised, because life is different now.
Okay.
I mean, both of us, and we grew up in different parts of the world. We were playing outside until the street lights came on. it felt more careless, whereas now I feel like I'm a helicopter parent constantly, you know, because I just want to make sure that they're okay because there's so much danger out there. So I think that's the thing that bothers me more is the fact that our kids won't grow up the same way that we did. But education-wise,
I've got my opinion on education is quite, I'm not gonna say super strong, but it's this way, is that when I grew up, and I'm sure everybody else of our age group and older, you were all put in a class and you're all taught the same subjects and you're all judged against each other for the same subjects. I don't believe that's the right way to see what you want to be when you want to grow up. Make a decision at a young age. Be judged on how good you are at something overall instead of saying, look, this person is artistic. This person is good at maths. But instead of saying, let's focus on what you're good at and nurture your natural skills, no, we're going to judge you on all the subjects. And if you don't get a level playing field, then you're going to fail. You're also going to become insecure that you're not keeping up with the other people who are doing well in a certain subject.
yeah.
So the school we found to send our kids to is a very small school. I think in each grade there's like 12 or 13 students in a whole grade. I had like 25 people in a class and we had 4 classes.
We had 30-something in a class.
Yeah, we were 30-something as well.
Yeah.
So they're all playing with each other at different age groups. The teachers are involved. They all know each other by name, you know. And it's all about nurturing artistic talent, natural skills that you have at such a young age. This is where they find out what they like, you know. They're not being forced to know something.
Yeah.
And in Malta, it was like homework all the time.
Oh, yes.
And it was like intense for a 5-year-old girl to come home every day and have an hour's worth of homework.
Yeah.
She should come home and go and play, you know. She's a kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
This homework can come later on, you know. But we start a year before Portugal. So year 1 that she did, she's doing again this year. Maybe it's good so she can pick up the language, but it was so much pressure already on such a young age that we really wanted to break away from this traditional schooling system.
I understand.
And let them grow naturally. So
I get it. We actually, so I'm going to give you my perspective.
Yeah.
So we have in Tel Aviv or in Israel a very competitive education system, and the way it's not very good. It's okay-ish.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. But it's not like, as you said, there's like 35 kids in a class and like 4 or 5 classes in one grade.
Yes, exactly.
So it's packed and it's really high dense and everything. But it's really, people are feisty. You really learn to get by early in life. And I'm not talking about getting by like getting a gun and talking about entrepreneurship and doing things and creating, and things are really fast moving and it's really interesting and both me and my wife are agree on that, and I think it really gives some additional benefit, in a way, I don't think it's the most necessary thing in the world, but it gives you something, so this is what we concern about. So it's a little bit almost too laid back and too too relaxed, So we were in a beautiful school in the beginning, and it was like this farm and with horses, and they're growing their own veggies and everything. And the teacher couldn't care less if we were bringing our eldest one, the kids at after 10. Like we were waking up at 9:30.
Yeah.
And bringing her to school around like 10:30, and nobody said anything. It was like, yeah, cool, whatever, everything works, And we were.
I love that.
Yeah, but we were not accomplishing anything. And this year we decided, hey, maybe we should do a little bit like a twist in the plot, So we chose something a little bit different for the elder one.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more structured, and I think all of us it's a bit of, there is some difficulties, but we are gaining. We are in a bit more we have a bit more a rhythm now. We wake up
Structure
early.
is very, very
Yeah.
important, especially for kids. So I definitely agree with that. When they're young, obviously, like you said, that's fine, you know, going to a farm school, taking them at odd hours or whatever. But at a certain point, especially when they start learning and it's compulsory school, I do believe that there should be structure for sure. And that also, I think, makes kids feel safer knowing that there's a certain, you know, routine and
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
what they should expect.
Yeah.
If everything is all over the place, then they
There's
don't feel
yeah,
safe.
exactly.
So-
They actually, from what I've read about parenting and those subjects, is that it's actually very important for them to feel guided. Like
Yes.
there is an adult who tells me what to do.
Yes.
You know, in a nice way, of
Yeah,
course.
of
But
course,
like
but they need it.
They need it. Otherwise, if they feel like they're responsible,
Yeah.
they take it too much and they can get confused.
Yeah.
You know, so it's nice that you have someone else responsible for you. You know, he's
Yeah.
for good and bad. So you need to behave according to his. So it's very interesting. Parenting as a whole is crazy.
It is.
What I would like to know is how you got your kids to sleep till 9:30, because I have no
Yeah.
idea.
So I tell you, the eldest one, she was just falling asleep late. We are similar, so we fall asleep late. We are not like easy sleepers, but when we fall asleep, we can go on, and she was just never waking up, like never early person. And the second one, she has odd hours. She's completely crazy. It's completely crazy. It's completely.
5:30. Daddy, I hear it coming. So
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
day, every
Is
day.
it something? Is it every morning?
Yes.
Every morning. Every
Yeah.
morning.
Yes.
And we-
5:30.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you do with them at 5:30 in the
I
morning?
get up and give them breakfast and
Yeah,
entertain them.
because yeah.
Get them ready for school and
Yeah. Go out.
That's it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, school opens. Let's go.
Yeah.
No, but because by the time it's 8 o'clock, you feel like you're ready for lunch. You know.
Yeah, you
Because-
feel, if you wake up at 5, you know that
Yeah.
what's it called? 4 o'clock club,
Yes,
whatever.
yes,
4 a.m.
yes.
club.
You heard that?
Yeah.
I'd like to do it sometimes, but
I hate it. I found it. Yeah, but because right now, like 10 o'clock, that's it. I finished my day. Like I can go.
It's true.
Yeah.
I like it because you wake up, no one's going to phone you, no one's going to message
Yeah.
you, the kids aren't going to call you, my wife's going to ask me to make her coffee or tea. So I get 4 hours of like proper work done, and I feel so much more productive than if I have the distractions, So even though you try and turn off your phone, you always a ding or email, and all of a sudden you're sidetracked. I feel like focused work is hard to get in that zone. And that's
Even
why I
at
like to wake up
nighttime,
early,
you
yeah.
can't really do that because at nighttime we still have the kids. Like even after putting them to bed, Daddy, Mama,
Yeah?
yes. Oh,
Having a 3, that's like it's not. There's no balance. There are more than you. So
exactly. I
Yeah,
was going to say
exactly.
we are outnumbered.
You're
So
outnumbered. Yeah.
we struggle with the fact that they wake each other up as well. So
Oh.
the one can wake up screaming because she's got growing pains, because that's something our kids get a lot, and then she wakes up the twins, and then the twins are awake, and then they scream, and all 3. It's like a choir.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it's intense.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your influence, like their influence,
Influence.
social media project. Is this both of you, or is it like mostly you?
Are you
I'm talking about
referring to the Instagram?
Yeah.
So back in Malta, that was basically my job. I used to do social media marketing. So it kind of came naturally because Malta is very small and tight-knit as well. So, word travels and you
Yeah.
work for the one person and you get referred to the other person. So I started my blog, I think, when I fell pregnant with our first. And it kind of just gradually grew.
Mm-hmm.
And then during COVID is when it really, kind of blew up, because a lot of businesses started focusing on social media marketing to sell certain things online or whatever the case might be. So, that was basically my job for a good number of years, but it was also something that I felt like was not for me.
Really? But was it? But you basically create your own content right now?
Yes, but I'm not doing it for work through my own social media. So I'm just back to normal blogging again.
Okay.
In Malta, I used to do it and get paid for it. But with that comes a lot of challenges as well, because you really have to be strict with the type of jobs that you take, because you can very easily lose your own authenticity.
Sell out, yeah.
Yeah, you can sell out.
Can you elaborate a little bit? I want to make sure that I understand.
Exactly how it works. Okay, so basically, I mean, everyone wants to make money. So let's say, for instance, one hair care brand approaches me and they say they will pay me X amount of money to promote their brand. And next week, another hair care brand approaches me and they also want to. Some people end up saying yes to everyone and you lose your authenticity because you sell yourself out because you are taking as many jobs as you can because you'll make money, but your audience won't end up believing what you are actually promoting.
Got it.
Because you are all over the place. And that goes the same for even like the type of events that you attend. I'm not a social butterfly. I do not like dressing up. And that is basically what these type of jobs really entail. So it's a lot of glitz and glam, and it's just not me. So
depends where, though. I mean,
it does depend where.
Exactly. Make it.
It depends where you're gonna head into the social media market, because I always told her, and she always felt very strong that I'm only gonna represent stuff that I would use myself, that I feel like is a good fit for me, and that's why I would show other people who will follow me as a good product. But you'll find other people in Malta, one day they're promoting coffee, the next moment it's like toilet cleaner, and it's like, you've sold your soul, and it's not the way it should be, because it is a flooded market.
Yes.
And I think that the only way you can really get to maybe a good following or a good support is by being true to yourself, because it's real, and what people want to see is real.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. So you can't, and I think the that step, there was a step, because I was working with influencers 3 or 4 years before we came to Portugal.
Yeah.
I used to do I used to direct like mini commercials and stuff like that mostly with influencers or like big influencers. So like, and I was noticing that suddenly the same group of 5 or 10 girls or guys would promote the same toothpaste, the same coffee, the same, and it's just become like, it's obviously that like it's fake. It's not working.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I struggled with. But the thing is, you also have the ability to say no to what you want to say no to.
Yeah.
So there was, in the beginning, I was welcoming work,
Yeah.
But then after a while, I was just saying to myself, I don't really want to say yes to every single thing. So I started turning away a lot of jobs as well, because I wanted to stay true to who I am. And a lot of people also they would contact me because they want me to promote stuff for kids. And I just got to a point where I'm like, I don't really want to show my kids' faces or use my kids as commodity,
Yeah.
So I got to a point where I also had to say to people, you know what, I don't want to get stuff for kids. So it is a very complex
relationship, absolutely,
Yes.
because you are I completely get it. Suddenly in the last couple of years, I was like saying to myself, I prefer that my personal Instagram profile will be completely private. I'm only going to post like some stories for the friends and whatever family or a group of people that from my private life, and now I have this channel, and this is giving me a bit more freedom to get a bit more a bit more loose, and like it's just like the way I tackle it.
And you're doing it on your own terms, which is what I intend to do in the future as well. Because I think when it comes to being paid for certain things, it can become messy sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas, now I'm just doing everything on my own terms.
One, it's a very interesting story. Not a story, but like just an example. I have a very good friend. And he used to be my mentor. We did some projects together, and we became friends. And I was learning from him as we go, because he's really successful. He had this online business, selling courses, blah blah blah, way before it was something popular.
Is it Michael by any chance? Is it Michael by any chance?
No. Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Jonathan. He's this super intelligent guy he brought up in the States, but he moved to Tel Aviv. And
I thought local, because I met a guy locally had the exact same story. That's why I'm asking him.
He was like a sensation on Udemy. I don't know if you guys know Udemy. Yeah, so it's like a course platform. He had like 3,000 or 4,000 students on Udemy, and then he opened his own his own private thing outside of Udemy. So Udemy won't cut parts of his revenues, won't take parts of his revenues. And anyways, he changed his strategy completely, and he chose a niche which he found interesting. I don't find it interesting at all. But he really he need just film about it. He just take photos about it. He talks about 3D printers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, imagine. And he built like something like that, like a studio in his house or somewhere, and he call it a printing farm, and he has like 100 or 50, I don't know, like plenty of 3D printers. What he does is just talks about 3D printers, and the channel is booming.
Really?
Yeah, and I talked to him several weeks ago, and he said, "Yeah, the YouTube income is okay. It's nothing to get excited about, but I'm getting so much money coming in through a printers company that want me," and he has like 60 or 70,000 viewers, subscribers on YouTube. So just because it's just such a small niche,
yes,
and he broke through, and they just like penetrate through that, like the algorithm and everything, and he's just like got spot by those companies that create those printers, and they pay him a lot of money, and he obligates to give an honest reviews about them. And it's really interesting. It's the whole market is this whole
the niche market. I mean, there's so many people doing varied subjects on YouTube. I mean, you find the big guys that are following. I mean, they spend a lot of money to create these videos, but it's all in the niches where you break into this target. There can be a niche about making cups and painting a certain style onto a cup. I've actually been reading a lot about this industry.
Printing on cups.
No, about breaking into a niche, into YouTube, and algorithm, and social media. And it's basically looking for somebody's issue, you resolve it, but you target them as an individual. So let's say I want to teach you how to create online content for mothers who stay at home with kids. Okay. You know? So then you're taking a bigger niche and you're breaking it into a smaller niche at the end of it. So you're targeting a specific person, stay-at-home mom. And that's how you open up the algorithm a bit more to find people who target you more than the general people. So it's very important now going into any new social media.
No, absolutely. I found it really difficult to find a niche because I'm all over the place. I like everything, and so I'm like, I said, it wouldn't be authentic to me to just and there was a point I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring 3D printers and start a 3D printing. But I was like, I'm not interested in that. And if I'm going to get bored and then I need to open a new channel, forget about it. I'm just going to do whatever. And whatever comes, and I'm enjoying the journey,
That's it. I like this guy called Russell Brunson. I don't even know who he is.
Russell
he's the
Brunson?
guy who started ClickFunnels. And basically, he started off working. He built up this company. It was a good brand. We're teaching people how to market online. But he was unhappy. He was working, earning lots of money, but waking up tired and felt like he was doing something he was not happy to get up in the morning. So he went home, he got a whiteboard out and he decided to say, I want to change the way I'm going to work. I'm going to choose the people I want to work with. I'm going to choose why I want to work with them. I'm going to find out my why. So he basically took a person, an imaginary person who would be his perfect client, as a male and a female, wrote down a name, wrote down what they're like, what age they are, things that they enjoy doing, what sort of education they had. The same for the male and the female. So that was his perfect client. And then he moved on to the why. Why is, what am I going to do to help these people? What am I going to give value to these people? And what would it be that I would happily wake up in the morning and do it for free? So being happy in your work by offering a service that you're happy to provide creates then the end of what I need to be, what my niche is, basically. So this is why I'm happy to get up in the morning. I'm happy to record podcasts, as an example, every day. Who are the perfect people? Daniel and Melissa. So
Hey, you are, by the way.
this is basically how you funnel down to find out what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, life is short. I've done things that I enjoyed. I've done stuff I do not enjoy. And that's actually a big reason why we're here. It's because I felt of love with what I was doing. And I wanted to completely start afresh. And so I've done coming here to Ericeira. So I've gone down this route that Russell is teaching. I've actually set out my plans and whatnot because I wanted to be able to be happy every single day, whether I'm working or whether I'm not, or whether I'm with the kids. It becomes part of your life because having a freedom to enjoy what you're doing is the best thing you can have, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you exactly are into now? You're into this marketing?
I basically I'm launching soon a new brand called Elevate Tribe. And what I want to do is basically help people, like build a community and get people to think outside of the box and not be afraid to try and do something online, to create their own online income, start an online business.
Okay.
And get out of that 9 to 5 mentality. I hated getting up in the morning, going in traffic, sitting there, going to the office, coming home at night, hardly seeing my kids. I'm grumpy because I've had a bad day. So
amazing.
The potential out there is growing every year. So you can see the market.
How do you call it? Elevate
Tribe. So
Elevate Tribe.
Help people elevate and welcome to our tribe.
I love it. I love it. Hey, as an entrepreneur, can I share with you, because I started to talk to Daniela. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
I was like, who's Daniela?
No, he's Daniel. Yeah. Sorry. I was starting telling Melissa. So embarrassing, guys.
Oh, it's not embarrassing.
This is what we're here to laugh. We're here to have
exactly.
fun.
Just have fun.
Exactly.
I was telling her. I was starting to tell her about the workshop I did here, and I wanted to expand on that and tell her what I'm going to do next to improve that, and maybe I can get your opinion, both of your opinion about that, and it also will help me sort of pitching the concept again. Yeah. So. So I did the workshop, and basically what I did in the workshop is I brought another guy to speak, so I will be like free to see how the space kind of handles like 15, 20 people and kind of like have. But I didn't really. This was basically the first person I found talking about podcasts. So I get it. It wasn't the best content at all, and moreover than that, he wasn't really good in English, and I'm not afraid to say that. But I'm thinking about I'm actually having a date for another workshop. And that workshop I would be giving. Yeah. And I want to title the workshop. This is like a bad title, but it will improve. so like somehow navigating the content seas or something like that, or navigating influence economy, something in those lines. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about creating your own content, how important it is to constantly creating, and how important is it that it will be easy for you and you won't be messing up with your vlogging camera and you have everything ready, and sort of like sell the space. But the proposal I'm thinking about giving at the end of the workshop, so sort of like sharpening this point a bit. So something similar, like Gary V, kind of like like attention grabbing, make content, social
What came
media.
to my mind immediately when you started talking was a Gary V's opinion.
Gary V spiel in a way,
Yeah.
but obviously I don't know if I can get good as him, but he's very good. But like as much as I can do,
The same style.
the same style talking about, and it's, by the way, it's true. It's very important because just putting my idea aside, it's really if you focus on producing content, you less focus on consuming content.
Yeah.
If you are if you are always consuming, you become this zombie knob, and you're like, and if you start like to get out of that and you start, hey, I want to produce something, you suddenly see you're less in front of the screen, in front checking everyone. You kind of it's
I actually tell you the same thing. We're no longer consumers, we're producers.
Yeah.
I tell you, we have to have that mindset.
On that note, I actually decided intentionally that the month of January, I will not be on my Instagram because I would like to create behind the scenes and then come back with a fresh mind, because you can very easily get into that, zombie state where you just, scroll.
Yeah.
And I absolutely hate that. And you don't feel good afterwards either. You actually feel quite shit. So
you feel empty.
Yes.
You feel empty. You feel like you're and this is one thing. And when you create, you start to basically take a grip. Hold the steer the
steering
boat.
wheel,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I mean, it's instant gratification, dopamine fix that you get from checking something, getting instant results. So your brain is like so caught into the content, and you're getting pleasure released.
You
instantly.
also get dopamine fix when you release content.
Exactly, but this
But
is what
at
I was going to
least-
get to. Is that at least you're excited because you're creating something,
Yes.
and it's not an instant.
Exactly.
It's planning phase, and the road to the end.
It lasts much longer.
Is exciting, you know.
Yeah.
And at least you are active in
You're
the
getting
process.
something back out of it, you know.
Yeah,
You're getting something-
You're active in the process. So this would be like the spiel of the thing, and then I would show the people who come to the workshop my normal prices. This is how the place works. This is what happens if you book it for 4 sessions. This is what happens if you book it for 6 sessions. And then I'm going to give them like a different proposal. The different proposal would be, you get me and the space for a mentorship program for 2 months. So instead of having a 90-minute session of recording, you would have a 90-minute session of recording plus then helping with some editing. So you get more like 2.5 hours helping with editing. And you have, in that mentorship, you're going to have a group. So many people have this problem. So for example, my wife, she wants to start her own podcast now and talk about Pilates. But she's a bit shy, and she don't want to, she don't have people to talk about it with. It's like...
And she mentioned last time as well, English, whether she should do it in her mother language or...
I think she feel comfortable. I think she feel really comfortable in English, but I think she's less social than I am.
Yeah.
So she find it difficult. Like I'm like, hey Daniel, you want to come for a podcast?
Yeah.
Really natural for me, you know.
Same.
And for her, it's like, she needs to break that, But in that mentorship group, I want to have a group together, and then they can podcast with each other.
Yeah.
So this also will be like a good breeding area for ideas and everything.
Yeah.
And
It's important, I think.
yeah, of course. And you basically, each person in that mentorship program have once a week a session. He needs to choose a morning or an afternoon. I'm gonna also give like a couples a package, like a slightly more expensive for 2 people, but same thing. And then since this also, I'm gonna teach them how to activate the place. And on the second month, they're gonna have a free pass for the night. So if someone wanna go really crazy and wanna record and just come after 5 o'clock until 5 o'clock in the morning. You just book through Calendly.
Yeah, awesome.
You can come in here and you can use the space. And so it's going to be a workshop, like funnel, so a free workshop, selling a mentorship program. The mentorship program is up to 10 people, because above 10 people, we won't have the capacity to hold them. Mm-hmm. First month we have 4 sessions, each with each person. Second month plus more 4 sessions, plus the free pass at night, plus the group together in a super discounted price.
That's great.
What do you think? How do you?
I think it's awesome. I have a similar concept with the group. I think it's important to get people working together because
Yeah.
it really pushes you to be more creative, to be a bit more attentive. And having a mentorship is also good to get people out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
I'm a person who believes that you should do stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable because it means you're growing. If you're always in your comfort zone, then you're not growing intellectually or basically in any way in life. So I think having that to hold someone's hand and then just say, okay, now you're on your own, is an excellent way to get people into this field. And definitely, I think it's a great place to have here. I'm going to be one of your clients for sure. So
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to invite you to that workshop, to that
Yes, that
second
would be
workshop,
great.
because you were. I really enjoyed your presence in the first one. It will be it will be a better English one, better.
we
content.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we enjoyed it,
laughed.
even
No,
because-
no, I know
Listen.
he was adorable. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He was such a nice guy, and
He's a character.
He's a
Like,
character.
and yeah, he had some point, but I felt a bit like if it wasn't helping me
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
to nail the place.
Yes.
But it was good. It was good. It was authentic. It was really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good fun meeting
and
people as well.
It brought people together, which I think was, I mean, I enjoyed it that day, meeting the people that was here. So
We wouldn't be sat here. I wouldn't be telling you I'm going to be your
Yeah,
client. You know, if
exactly.
we didn't have that day. So
Yeah, absolutely.
sometimes,
It all
like,
comes
you have to
together.
just do as much of these things as you can, you know?
Yeah,
because-
no, absolutely. By the way, the method I'm doing now to get people to sign up for the workshop is I'm using Typeform. You heard about that?
Typeform,
It's
yeah.
like
Turns
this
it out.
no-code form
yeah.
you put on, and
Yeah.
so you need to fill up this little form, and so it's like a join the team, kind of like join the
Yeah, yeah.
content squad,
Yeah.
kind of like form, and then it sends you to an event.
yeah.
So
okay.
I'll show you. I'm gonna send you the thing, and you tell me what you think about
I
that.
mean, I've got a very similar thing actually launching now, so maybe we can work together on it.
Yeah,
I'm,
absolutely.
I'm pushing now like a 12-month challenge for people to start. It doesn't have to start on the same day. People can start throughout the year. And in 12 months, how much you can earn online and how much you can do it against somebody that you choose. So it can be a friend or a family or a colleague. And basically the aim is earn as much money you can online, but through a community. So
Okay.
building, everyone who takes part of the challenge is going to be in this community group. We have people who are specializing, let's say, on podcasting. Other people will be, and together, everybody will grow together by assisting each other. Because when you have someone that you're
Yes.
working with, you have accountability.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to challenge myself to say, I'm going to see how much I can earn. After a week, the phone rings and the kids are busy. 2 weeks online, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Now, when you're working with someone and you're making them accountable for what they're learning and how they're progressing, then you're going to actually get up in the morning and say, I need to beat this person, or I need to be better, because I'm going to focus. At the end, the result is going to be obvious who did the most work, you know?
Absolutely.
So-
What would be your advice to work online?
Online.
For one advice. good.
Okay. I mean, it all comes down to what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you go and do this just because it's profitable. You have to do something that makes you happy. So there's so many different ways you can make money online. There's affiliate marketing. There's YouTube. The list is quite extensive. So you need to find something that makes you happy, that you're happy to be in, because you're going to work on it every day. And you have to be happy to do it as a natural thing, as we were saying before. So that's why I want to open up this net. Like I've created like a welcome pack with a brief information of these are some of the options that you can earn money online. I've created a journal for these people where they can track their progress and their goals. And I can also like an AI prompting guide, so help people use AI a bit
Okay.
more into building up the social media. But what you're doing is you're creating this bubble of people like you're saying that you want to do, and I think it's excellent because when you get people together, the brainwaves sort of like the ideas, the brainstorming and the Q&As that happen. I think it's an excellent way to go about it. And you can also upsell your content if you're doing mentoring, record it, sell it online as a course.
Absolutely.
Setting up podcasts. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, you're,
So you are more. What you want to do is more teaching people how to become like content creators, or how to become an influencer, or more like how to find your niche online. Because just for example, there was a period between after the crypto company I worked for was basically got bankrupt or
Yeah.
something.
So FTX was it?
Yeah, exactly after
FTX,
FTX.
yeah.
I was actually in Morocco,
Okay.
and I was working. It was an Israeli company based in Cyprus, so you know, Malta. You get the
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
And I was doing their tutorials, videos for the company.
Okay.
It was really good time, and I really felt enjoying, because we were all in like the sphere, and the head of the sphere, like of technology, and everyone were like really sharp people. So I was really enjoying working with that team. But FTX really crushed everything. So she was called, and I was in Morocco, and she was like, "Hey man, it's really going down." But no worries, you know. And I was so after that, I was like, "What I'm gonna do? I need to find like some solution for at least for a meanwhile." So I was like opening a profile on Upwork, because this is what I've done for 2 years now, editing tutorials. Maybe people will want that. So difficult to land a job on Upwork, almost impossible. Like, this is something like, this is another niche, like helping people land their job online, you know, because this is something that can also, it's also interested like me, you know.
I mean, I have a love for reading books, especially like mindset and eliminating the fear of trying to do something. I mean, there's a great book called Ousting the Fear of the Devil, I believe. So it's basically the only person that holds you back is yourself from going out and doing something. Because the same person who was a president, the same person who they both woke up in the morning, put on a pair of trousers and went out. It's as much time as they put towards growing and learning, and every skill is teachable. You know, so public speaking is teachable, any language is teachable, coding is teachable. But there's so many different areas that you cannot be a specialist at everything. You know, so the aim is that I want to encourage people to step into outside their comfort zone, show them the opportunities that there are out there, and then bring in people and probably sit down where you're sitting and have a podcast and have videos where people specialize in a certain niche. Let's say someone's a specialist in affiliate marketing. Bring them in, share some concepts, and then the people who are within our team will get access to that information. And people in there, some might be digital artists, some might be copywriters, and all of a sudden you've got a network of people which are bouncing ideas off each other and growing that aspect. Obviously, there's going to be different tiers where I get like a VIP access with people who want to have real one-on-one mentoring, more training templates for certain items. We can sit down and develop websites for you and then create like funnels marketing. So there's so many different ways to build on this, but the concept is helping people to just stop being a worker and start being free, because that's what really Ericeira, this hub, the people I meet here, they all have the same idea where, hey, listen, life is not about going to work and then getting enough money to retire and die.
Freedom of time.
You know, I can choose to say...
Time is the best currency.
Yeah, it's the most valuable currency, you know?
Yeah, it's true. You know, and here it's actually a perfect spot, perfect location to do it, because many people here, what I feel is that they're in this small bubble, but they want to project to the world. They want to find their online presence. They want to find their influence. They want to, because it's really difficult to sustain yourself with the current situation in here. You know, if you're not a surf instructor or you don't own a restaurant, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You need to find maybe a yoga teacher or something, but you need to find, you know, something. And many people come here to find that thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's all about finding what you give people in return for their time in value. Because even if someone is watching a video that you produce, they're still giving you something. They're giving you their attention, their time. Yeah. So it has to be something of value you're giving back. Yeah. I mean, some people make money by living the best life, and people live through their eyes, you know. So that's why I get also following on people who travel and sail and whatnot. But then you also find people who want to know about 3D printing, you know. So, and that's where the attention goes, where people are giving value for that attention span. Yeah. So it's attention. So broad. Yeah, that's it's attention. True. It's so broad, because it's like I keep trying. What's it? Imposter syndrome, where people are afraid.
Most people have that.
What is it? What is it?
Imposter syndrome, where you're afraid that you're not smart enough to teach people anything, or you don't have enough knowledge to say anything to someone
You
that's going to
doubt
be
your
of
own
interest. You know,
abilities.
I get it.
but everybody has skills. Everybody has different skills, you know. And sometimes I find myself speaking to someone like, "How do you know all that?" I'm like, "But I thought it was general." No, it's not. It's because I've been putting time into it. But naturally, your mind goes down this path where everybody must be reading the same stuff I'm reading.
Yeah.
But they're
everybody
not.
knows the same thing
Exactly.
I do. Yeah.
And it's not
and
true.
It's not true.
You know, so something so simple and small that you take for granted can be of such a value to somebody else. And it's just finding out what that is and then portraying it to other people. And that's your little niches, you know.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. And then you have to stay consistent.
It's important, you know. But as we're going back to Gary Vee points out that nowadays your brand is you. You know, people hide behind companies and whatnot. But if you want to be popular on social media, if you want to be an influence, you need to be yourself and you need to be
that's
true.
the most
You
important
need to
thing.
be true.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true.
And content is shared in so many different ways. Where I even brought up the point during the workshop is if you film this podcast and then you chop it up and you've got YouTube video and then you've got actual audio and then you've got shorts for TikTok and whatnot. And what you're doing is you're basically creating a funnel of short clips that all point to the end point, which is whatever you want it to be. Let's say you want it to be YouTube. But the podcast diverts here, the shorts on TikTok or whatever, they all divert here. And you're opening a net to capture as many people on different platforms who might have a slight interest into those short cuts.
Yeah, no, I'm doing those shots all the time, and
Yeah.
it's really pumped my engagement. You know?
Yeah.
People are like engaging, and it's really cool. You know,
Yeah.
people don't even watch the whole thing on YouTube. Most of the people just watch the 1 or 2 minutes on shorts
shorts,
on Instagram. They love it.
Yeah.
I love
People, I
podcasts.
mean, the attention span of people are also very short. So I think some people prefer the
Yeah,
shorts.
the snippets, the
Yes.
teasers. Yeah. Yesterday I sent, Andrew Huberman? It's like this doctor. He's like this hardcore doctor with tattoos and beard, and he's like.
I think I know who I think I read this announcement about him a few weeks ago.
I don't know.
Everyone watches his podcast. He's like.
Oh yeah, I think I know.
Do you
who
know
he is.
him?
I think I know.
He has this podcast, and he speaks by himself. He basically speaks to the camera, and he speaks for 3 hours about why caffeine is bad for you, and he's just like blah 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 blah. He's just, and I said, and he puts you to sleep like easy, and he speaks with enthusiasm, and you can see that he's completely smart. But and I'm like watching for 15 minutes, and I'm like, how the hell can he do that? Just doing that is an amazing skill. You just and my wife, I sent something about alcohol because he's like preaching about healthy lifestyle and intermediate fasting and keto, blah blah. Or every trend he talks about, he gives like pros and cons, blah blah blah, and talks a lot about science, whatever. And I said, she was like, how can he do that? After 10 minutes, I felt tired because he's like really...
He's obviously super passionate about it.
Super
But
passionate.
then, to be honest with you, you saying this is what he's talking about, I'm going like this because that, to me, makes me feel like I will watch it. I love information about anything health and wellness.
So you should check Andrew Huberman.
Huberman, okay.
He's like this. He's a professor for doctors.
Yeah.
He looks quite young.
Yeah.
And he looks quite like like buffed and like, he looks like an interesting character.
I feel like I would enjoy that.
The whole thing now, it's funny. It's everyone are like, it's not like they're only strengthening their social media skills, their mental skills, but they're all together in the bodybuilding, physical kind of. It's like basically it's like becoming like a like this group of super people, like they're super
that's
smart,
true.
super strong.
Yeah.
Superhuman.
Yeah,
superhuman.
Yeah.
They only eat no carbs and only it's crazy. It's a bit too much.
You get a lot of people like that nowadays.
But it's interesting. It's an interesting topic.
Yeah, I also find it super interesting. For me, anything health and wellness is super interesting. So.
This is your niche.
That's how I started. When I started blogging, I didn't even show my face. I always just posted vegetarian and vegan food because back then I used to be vegan, and I loved it. And then people started telling me like, we want to see the face behind, the food. And
You were cooking?
Yeah. That's what I used to do. Back then we didn't have reels and all of that. So I used to post photos. And then I kind of, started showing my face more, and then more people started contacting me for other things. And that's why I said, I feel like I started going away from my niche, and that started bringing in more money. But I want to go back to what my passion is, which is health and wellness.
Okay.
So I don't want to be broad like I used to be, promoting this and that. And my focus is health and wellness.
Cool. Super cool. Maybe you should come to I'm going to tell my wife to contact you. Maybe she wants to do a podcast with you about her, because she looks for people to talk about the Pilates thing and wellness.
I know nothing of Pilates, but I would love to start. So
that could be cool. She
Health
even
and
printed
wellness
her
and-
own sign for
Really?
here. Yeah.
Awesome.
Really
yeah,
cool.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Hey guys, it was really amazing.
Yes.
We need to. I think we're gonna wrap it up. It was really
Okay.
cool. Really. Kind of like mind,
Yes.
like going
Bouncing
on,
ideas
bouncing,
and-
really amazing, and everything is recorded, so we're gonna do cool stuff about it.
Awesome.
I hope your Instagram detox for January won't, because I'm probably gonna publish some reels from this in January. So
I will post that though.
yeah. No worries.
No, but I will post that though, because I was even thinking like it doesn't make any sense if I don't post that. I want to post that, but
No,
then
but
I'll
I don't
still-
want. I don't want to interrupt your Instagram detox.
No, I won't go. I won't scroll. I promise.
You're just gonna accept the collaboration.
yes, exactly.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Okay.
Okay.
That's good.